Welcome to Interlude 3 of The Conquered, a Guyver future AU fanfiction. Thank you for listening. Let's begin. The Conquered, Interlude 3, Who Follows Where? Eryeling VA Kaihin Personal Log. Interstellar date, 7,367,463.92. Kaihina Empire date, 34th year of Emperor Zenith IB Kaihin, Per Dynasty. I consider myself lucky. I was standing there, I saw it, but I had seen what they were capable of, I knew what the whirlwind could be like. No, I didn't. I just fooled myself into thinking that. I knew what the slightest breath of air was like. I had never seen the whirlwind. They had showed us power beyond recognition, but in the end they had showed us nothing. Nothing compared to the power they held, nothing compared to the raw destruction they were. I have looked at my log and I see nothing but optimism there, assumptions about truths that had not been revealed. The interstellar meeting will be a chance for the universe. For all our races to look at what we fear and decide whether we are still going to cower in the shadows, to decide if we are still going to be afraid. To look at what we fear. We have never known what to fear. Someday we are going to have to fight the Advents. Someday we are going to have to fight them. And if we have survived the Advents, I do not think we can survive them. Absolute power. The phrase has been used to describe the Advents and the Techie, to describe the depths of power those two foes have. The absolute power the Advents hold is nothing. It is what a candle is to the sun. Nothing. We knew that when the Terrans came aboard the Castan Goa they were in complete control. Both Guyvers were in contact with each other and their ships the entire time. Fukamachi said as much to me when I asked. I spoke to him, but I spoke to them all. But somehow, I knew that was the case. The question I asked to him was for confirmation. I have seen the Emperor's Guyvers act on orders that have never been spoken, so I knew that Guyvers can speak to each other without words. Tansai has told me as much. But I had never seen it done so casually. That communication, that control is a mere indication of their power. We watched them destroy Zoanoids like they were nothing, and that battle has whole new connotations of meaning now that we know they are the same race. A race that can kill its own that easily, that casually. Perhaps we shouldn't trust them as the Advents suggest. We have seen it with other races. Those that can kill their own without hesitation, without consideration, can kill others with even less remorse. But I do not think that is the case for the Terrans. I have looked into Fukamachi's eyes. I have seen the truth there. They kill. It is easy, but it is not casual. It is not without remorse. The Advents know nothing. They do not know that the memories are there, that for every Zoanoid killed the price will be paid in Advent blood. They do not see that the Terrans, that Fukamachi believes that a life is a life, no matter what species the being is. I have looked into his eyes. I saw that belief and I will risk my life for that. His power rests on that truth. His power. I have seen him and Mikishima fight, and while Mikishima is the more technical fighter, Fukamachi does not hold back. The battle for him is in his heart. I have seen him battle, open and honest, and I have seen him fight when taken by surprise. It is better to let him see you coming. That power. He is totally different when it is a matter of life and death. His power is different. Stronger, and then he, like Mikishima, is technically precise, and unlike the Black Guyver he seems merciless and uncaring of the consequences. Mikishima Agito considers his moves. Fukamachi Sho desired nothing more than the absolute destruction of the one who had attacked him. Absolute destruction. Absolute power. For them, the Terrans, the power they showed us was nothing, and I'm not even sure the depths of power they showed at the interstellar meeting is true extent of their abilities. But at least now we know why they are so powerful. Absolute power. The Advents have never tried to claim it. Whether we Kaihinans have known the race or not, they have always been opposed. I do not know who can oppose the Terrans. Absolute destruction. The monomyth, the soldiers before the Zoanoids, were believed to be the agents of destruction, but that changed with the Zoanoids, and now I think it will be a belief held by all races that the Terran Guyvers are that singular force. The base of a perfect soldier complemented by armor that, while rare, has been almost mythical in its ability. Two strengths merged together, removing the weakness from both. The other races haven't seen. They don't know that the Terrans remove the one weakness of the Guyver armor, simply because they are Terrans, but I believe it will only be a matter of time. I do not know of the weaknesses of zoanoids except perhaps their inability to heal themselves, and thus the Guyver unit on a Terran removes that weakness. Absolute power. Absolute destruction. I do not believe that either rest with the race as a whole, but certain individuals hold these properties. Omnipotence in the hands of one being. Perfect. It is a word that is used too often, but I believe in this case that it is true. Terran Guyvers are perfect, although they would probably argue the tag. The power they showed is beyond other Guyvers, it is beyond anything we have ever known, but it is their birthright, and we can only hope that they do not become like the Advents. Alliances. The techie indicated that they would seek alliances, but I feel that he was also right with his assertion that they do not need them. If they seek alliances, we should seek their favor. It may not be the wisest course of action if the Advents discover it, but if the techie spoke truly, then we Kaihenans are living on borrowed time. If such an alliance destroys us, we will die, but I can only hope that our utilitarian action will allow others to survive. It may be too early to oppose the Advents. Such power. They hold such power. If time permits, if destiny prevails, I hope I will see where such power will take them. End Erling VA Kaihen personal log. Orenmere Diplomatic Dispatch. Interstellar date, 7,367,464.23. Report on interstellar meeting. Attendance was as expected, however the techie also appeared. The Advents confirmed their identity. Another race also appeared. Was recognized by both Advents and techie, but is thus far unknown to us. New race called themselves Terrans. New Advent soldiers also present and were identified as zoanoids. Monomyth now considered obsolete. True identity, form and abilities of the techie remain unknown. Attended via holo projection. Implied knowledge of Advent's true form and seemed to reveal such information to the Terrans, but nothing can be determined. Claimed to be created by the Advents and does possess detailed knowledge of Terran history. Claims also to have mastered the ability to time travel, although no evidence was presented. Seemed neutral towards Terrans but offered no alliance and gave nothing more than twisted advice. Goals stated to be 1. Destruction of Advents, and 2. Correction of Guyver's one mistake. Exact details of this mistake unknown, but techie claims that the mistake is the supreme being, and as such he himself is not powerful enough to kill them. Mistake believed to be weaker now, and such was the reason given for time travel. Full veracity of claims uncertain. Act with caution. New race known as Terrans. After extended conversation with techie and Advents, they were revealed to be the base form of zoanoids. Advents used biological engineering to alter genetics and create soldiers from a form that does not seem dangerous. Base Terran form appears devoid of claws, spines, fangs or poison. Confirmation required. Abilities of zoanoids vary with form. Terrans claim to be Advents' enemies and Advents regarded them as such. All Terrans not tied to the Advents were Guyvers. Units appeared to have evolved. Terran Guyver forms were different, more advanced. More details will follow in personal report. Also appear to have the ability to evolve other Guyvers. Alkid of Shadow, Wesodon of the planet Yaringa, unpartnered by Kerrang, evolved after given permission by Terran Guyver. Wesodon now is serving Terrans. Advise check on all dealings with him for liability and risk analysis. Terran Guyvers able to kill zoanoids with great efficiency. Guyver unit surmised to be source of ability to resist Advent orders, however one Guyver was revealed to be also a zoanoid, so it may be something else. Terran Guyvers are a real and definite threat. Advise that our ability to defend against them at this current juncture is nil. Techie suggested that the Terrans will seek alliances and a discreet agreement with them could be beneficial. Meeting further revealed that Advents have selectively destroyed advanced races. Techie estimates Kaihenan Empire approaching technology level considered a threat. Kerrang Wesodon Alliance presumably also approaching threshold. Estimate Orenmere Republic has 700 years before we are also considered a threat. While Terran Guyvers can fight zoanoids, Terrans claim to have activated their own genetic heritage and as such are at war with the Advents. Zoanoids exist that may fight the Advent zoanoids. If we are to fight, we will need such beings. We may be able to capture some. If not, interaction with the Terrans may reveal methods of payment for such services. However, such payments will be steep and alternatives should be sought. Terran Guyvers seem to care about each other, and while we have not seen it, Zoanoids may bear a similar weakness. Such weakness could be used to barter for their services. Conclusions: methods must be found to fight the Advents. Agreements with the Terrans should be reached if possible. Advent reaction should first be considered. Both Techie and Terran Guyvers should be considered real and definite threats, and neither should be fought. Further information will follow with personal report. End report. Close diplomatic dispatch. Talawa's resignation from Mangoran Guyver section. I, Talawa of Mangora, do formally renounce this name. Henceforth I will be known as Talawa, warrior of Yisavak, or to most of you I will be known as a traitor, Talawa, Techie's whore. Since this will be my epitaph to the Mangoran race, I will explain. I will explain why this is and why I will live with whatever name may be cast upon me. I will explain, but I doubt you will understand. In time though, the Mangoran people will look back to this point in history and will see it as the beginning of the end. Perhaps then they will understand what I am doing, what I have done. I attended the interstellar meeting as ordered, but what transpired there has forever altered me. We Mangorans are born warriors. We train, not to learn new skills but to show our minds what our bodies already know. It is a fine tradition that we are proud of, that has breeded the finest warriors for centuries. We train and we do not fear. We know what we are capable of, and we know, because we are trained to feel it, who we can challenge. We know the limits of our powers, and more importantly we know the limits of others. That changed. The race that came forward at the interstellar meeting has changed that. You will see the records. You will see that I faced him, but that wasn't me. I wasn't there. I stood there, I faced him, I looked into those eyes, but the me who did that was not me. That was someone who was scared, who feared to see the whirlwind. That was a me who saw the opportunity to take a unit and who did not think. We are trained not to fear. I fear him. I looked into those eyes and I did not see the pearl plates of the unit. I saw the fire of determination, the assurance of power and the strength of conviction. And it was all controlled, each faceted against the other to bring forth unimaginable power. I saw death and I knew it was his to command. And in time, he will do exactly that. Re-education. One of them said something about that. I can't remember what. They will do it though. He went over the bodies of 3, but he never told me who, but those 3 are the ones who have given him that strength. Those 3, while we may never know who, those 3 are going to shape the universe because they have shaped him. I looked into his eyes. I saw his power, I witnessed him commanding that power in another, but I could not serve him. By all rights, he defeated me, and like the one he gave power to I should have followed. I should be ready to give my life to him, to follow him into the brink, but I could not. I will not be burned by the fire he carries. I will not submit to that. I fear him. And so I watched him, leave. I stayed for a while then, considering what I had seen. Power. Power is meant to be just that. It does not have mercy, it does not have feelings, it does not have thoughts. It is something you have. It's something we Mangoran are trained to use but not to think about. It is meant to be a tool, but in his soul I did not see that. I left then, once I knew what I had seen, and that is when he found me. The dark is comforting, you know. It makes you forget, and if you have such strength that you cannot forget. It makes you dream, it shows you what you want. He found me and he is everything that I have been taught to respect. Power without conscience, strength without limit and knowledge without end. When he found me I slept only to awake to the darkness, and in that light I almost did not see him. He had been waiting for me. I watched him and I failed. I fear the other but I will not serve. I respect him but I could not serve. I was all alone in the dark. Such power should not be possible. But their power is the same and I could not serve either. It was after everything. I do not know how long. He was not happy with me and I know it was me who failed. I deserved the punishment. I should have served the other, and because I couldn't, because the other was not what I know, I should serve the one I respect, the one who is what I was trained to respect. I failed. I saw the shadow of one in the other. It was my fault. His punishment was just. But after I awoke. I who does not fear. I fear him and will not serve. I who does not run. I ran from him and cannot serve. I who does not fail. I have not failed him and so serve. I awoke. The dark was gone. The absolute pitch that was the other one who was perfect was gone, and in its place was green. He was waiting for me. Yisavak. I fear him. I feared the odd perfection that is the Terran, and so I will not serve. I failed him. I could not bring myself to honor the perfection that is the Techie, and so I was punished and cannot serve. I saw him. An echo of perfection. Power tempered by mercy, strength that knew its limits and knowledge that was bound. I serve him. One cannot serve what one fears. I respect, I honor, but at the moment of choice I was weak and thus cannot serve. I was punished for my audacity, for daring to think I could serve perfection. Mangorans are taught perfection, but in the end I could not. Yisavak. An echo of perfect. The Techie's first follower. I serve him. He is flawed enough that I have that courage. Mangorans are taught perfection. But my race. Heed this warning. You are taught perfection but know nothing of it. Power is not just power. End Interlude 3. Who follows where? The Conquered. Thank you for listening. Join me again to listen to the next chapter.